Welcome to AI Today, where we bring you all the latest news and biggest industry stories from the world of AI. Today, I'm joined by Marco Pozzoni, Director of EMEA Storage Sales at Lenovo's Infrastructure Solutions Group. Marco leads go-to-market efforts for Lenovo's storage business, where he integrates products and technologies to solve customers' most challenging data problems. He has a deep interest in AI, machine learning, and data management, and he brings valuable insights on how organizations are adapting their infrastructure to support AI initiatives at scale. Thank you for joining us, Marco. Really appreciate your presence here. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yep, thank you very much, Luke. I'm very, very pleased to be on this call, on this video today with you. About myself, so Marco Pozzoni, I'm based in Italy, so I'm fully Italian, been in the industry probably for 25 years, always in the storage industries, having seen multiple companies, recently NetApp, even more recently Lenovo, where, to your point, I'm leading the EMEA Storage Sales practice within Lenovo, which means essentially all traditional storage technologies, including hyperconverged infrastructure solution. And what we see more and more, the topic that our customers are asking us more and more is about data modernization and, of course, AI, which I believe is definitely one of the topics of today.
Sounds good. Thanks for that introduction, Marco. Okay, so let me go into the questions that I wanted to put to you today. From your perspective of working with enterprise-level clients, what are the most significant operational challenges that organizations face when implementing AI beyond just acquiring the technology itself?
Yeah, no, thanks for the question. So my perspective is, working with different enterprise customers. One of the most significant operational challenges is definitely the implementation of AI at scale, but it goes really beyond the technology actually they're using or they're going to be implementing. So it's not only a technology aspect. It all comes down to, and it also been shown into our CIO study that was published a few months back from a Lenovo standpoint, that was showing that some of the challenges that customers are facing is all around the data readiness and the governance. There is a challenge as well when it comes down to talent and organizational alignment, meaning being able to identify the right skilled staff for the job when it comes down to AI. And then you have another aspect or another angle of looking at how integration of AI into the business processes actually plays a fundamental approach. And last but not least, which I don't want to forget, is about ethics. Ethics is playing an even more important role into AI as technology becomes more mature and the adoption within the ecosystem actually, so ecosystem in terms of customers' ecosystem, becomes even more mature. So I would say those four pillars are what, on top of what technology shall I bring into my data center or from an hybrid cloud perspective, those are the four pillars that are currently dictating what customers are looking for when it comes down to AI.
Which of those four pillars do you spend most time kind of sorting out with the projects that you implement? Which is the most significant, would you say?
Data readiness is definitely one of the aspects that customer are struggling with, and that's where it comes down once again to identifying the right level of technology when it comes down from a total IT infrastructure perspective, which, as we know today, it's not only about data center, it's not only about public cloud or edge, but it's really a mix of the three technologies. So the hybrid cloud that everybody talks about, that's actually what most of the customers, especially the most advanced one on AI, are currently implementing. So some of them start in the public cloud with AI, some of them are starting data repatriating into the on-premise, so within their own data center. But reality is most of the customers nowadays have fully understood what the hybrid cloud means, and they are leveraging the benefit of it. So data governance and how to exploit the data, irrespectively of the physicality of it. So we like to talk about data gravity, so bringing data closer to your data center. But that is definitely one of the things that customers are today struggling with, and that's where I'm spending most of my time with.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And obviously, there's a customer needs an needs a data foundation in the first place to implement an effective AI strategy. So how are companies bridging the gap between, let's say, later legacy data environments and the kind of high performance infrastructure that AI workloads demand?
Yeah, thanks for the question. It's a very interesting one because as technology matures and customers in particular are looking more seriously into AI, or in particular bringing data back, some of the customers we're dealing with have definitely an aging technology, or I would say legacy systems in-house, and that could be from a compute, but of course from a storage perspective. Uh, And to try to bridge the gap, it really depends on what the customer comments on. You have certain customers that have a solid foundation already, not necessarily because they've been thinking about AI ahead of time, but simply because they've already been, let me say, purchasing the right technology even a few years back, and they're able to or capable of leveraging that level of technology as well for implementing certain level of AI project. Then you have some more, let me call it extreme AI projects that do require a completely refresh from a technology standpoint. And that's where Lenovo actually partners technologies like Wake IO, for example, or DDN, or even vast data. So technology providers are basically leveraging our infrastructure building blocks, mainly ready nodes or server node, and we're adding the software-defined storage on top of it in order to provide what customers are looking for, which is essentially performance, extreme scalability, and more in particular, efficiency in the way actually data is currently being treated and managed.
Mm. How do you measure your customers' success? Is it like an ROI or I don't know cost savings? What does a successful project for Lenovo and yourself actually look like?
Well, if I'm putting myself in the shoes of a customer, the customer is always looking at the end of the day, when I'm implementing something, there should be a business return. So typically the ROI from a customer standpoint is about, okay, how much additional business revenue it generated. To be frank, I mean, based on the study actually that we had, the CIO study I was referring to at the very beginning, um, there are still some skepticism in the customer, especially enterprise customer, and that's pretty much across the globe, where not all of them are fully sure that actually AI will be providing return on investment in the form of additional business.
Mm.
What, however, this study actually shows is that if you look at other metrics like customer satisfaction, for example, or increased productivity, those are all metrics that customers, and therefore also Lenovo, because we basically are looking at what our customers are looking into. Those are other KPIs or other metrics that customers actually are looking into, and not necessarily only strictly related to business in terms of revenue. So that could open up, AI could open doors, for example, for new business streams that customers never had looked into in the past. And more in particular, it's all about customer satisfaction. So customers are looking, or enterprise customers in particular, are looking more and more into AI, not necessarily in terms of that generate additional revenue to me, but it's really more about the customer and the productivity of internal employees. So those are the things that we're looking at. There is another aspect, which is actually called out in the CIO study, which is about sustainability. Now we know that AI projects, especially large projects, can consume a lot of power, but it also, with the new technology that Lenovo has been recently introducing, like ChatGPT in the box, for example, with liquid cooling, allows customers to implement AI projects within their own data center by leveraging cooling technology and therefore saving up to 25% of power and cooling, so therefore energy to the bill. So those are the trends that customers are looking into by implementing AI. And once again, it's not only about revenue, but everything that goes around it.
Okay, that's great. Really interesting. And I'm conscious, Marco, that Lenovo has very recently had its largest storage portfolio refresh. with a whole kind of raft of new products and solutions. So let me ask you, beyond the technical considerations, what organizational changes are necessary for enterprises to successfully integrate AI, and how is Lenovo, with its new kind of portfolio and its new approach, if you like, how are you supporting that transformation?
Well, I would say what Lenovo is currently doing is, yes, you just called it out properly. On April 23rd, we had the largest announcement and technology refresh from a portfolio. So bear in mind that about 2/3 of the portfolio got technology refreshed. That's on the traditional storage side of the house and also the hyper-converged. We also been introducing new solutions, one of them being the AI Starter Kit that helps those organizations, enterprise organization, basically to start or kickstart the journey on AI. So by implementing AI workload or running the AI project smoothly. AI Starter Kit is essentially a pre-validated design, which is made of end-to-end Lenovo technology from server, networking, and storage, pre-validated so that customers do not have to worry about the infrastructure and can focus on business outcome, but more in particular on the AI part of the project. So what Lenovo has been really helping customers with is really not only from a technology standpoint as part of the announcement, but also we've been implementing services and center of excellence around AI to facilitate the customer move from, let me say, legacy project to something more advanced like AI is today. Back to the point that I was mentioning earlier on regarding talent acquisition within enterprise customers, that remains a topic that most of the customers today cannot fulfill, going out in the market and acquiring the level of a specialty that their business would require. That's where Lenovo services actually are stepping in. Besides the center of excellence, we also offer services in terms of consultancy, for example, or proof of concept or workshops in order to work side by side with the customer, identifying, first of all, what are their needs, identifying what should be the metrics to look at, and how that business integration of AI within the business ecosystem actually should function. So it's not only about technology, going back to the point I mentioned earlier on, it's not really about technology. And that's where we're helping customers into.
Yeah, and let me just continue on that point, because my understanding is that you've introduced AI starter kits, which that sound really interesting. Actually, I'm on a Lenovo laptop, so maybe I'll be privy to one of those soon. As part of the recent portfolio refresh. So, do you see any common implementation patterns amongst enterprises that sort of successfully move from experimenting with AI to full production deployment?
We start seeing, especially on the enterprise side of the house, we see those projects actually happening more and more rapidly. So we've seen customers, the same customers having their experience on AI in the public cloud, them being successful, some of them being a failure. But irrespective of that, public cloud was, let's say, the initial starting point for any companies out there. For the one who've been implementing AI in a successful manner, the next step for them, like I called out earlier on, is actually to repatriate some of the data and being able to run for different reasons, by the way. It's not only economical reasons, there could be regulation reasons, there could be multiple reasons or ethical reasons as well, to repatriate some of the data within their own data center. And being able, like I said, to run the same AI project or even further extend that, the pilot program that generated in the cloud being moved back into the on-premise, and for them to be able to run with the best infrastructure that Lenovo can provide, both from a compute and from a storage perspective, leveraging, of course, the latest announcement or latest product that were part of the announcement, in order for customers to really reap the benefit of both worlds. Basically, the compute part Lenovo can provide. We're number one from a server availability. We have many records in the HPC, in the AI space, and of course, the storage technology that fits and glues together extremely well. The storage that we just announced, beside the speeds or the scalability and the performance, also provides some unique functionality, which are actually key and super important for any customers willing to implement AI on-premise, which is all about data security. So we see more and more ransomware attacks. So the technology actually we're bringing to the table in order to support this AI starter kit, or DG5000 or DM7000, those technologies have also ransomware capabilities, so anti-ransomware capability, I should say, fully built in, AI-based, so themselves. So in order for them to, ensure that customers' ability to run the AI project is actually done in a total safe mode. So being far away from being attacked ransomware-wise by malware or any other type of attacks outside.
Mm. My very last question for you, Marco, and I just want you to take off your director's hat at the minute and just put on your kind of AI enthusiast hat, and forget about Lenovo and the products, and just give me your broad prediction for the future of the next, let's say 1 to 2, 12 to 18 months in AI. What are we going to see? What is the next big trend going to be? How are humanoid robots going to fit into different industries? Just put it all out there. What do you think?
Well, I believe, that's really my personal feeling in this particular case. We see more and more AI becoming more pervasive in everything we do on a daily basis. Yes, it's on our phone, it's on our PCs, it's in our cars today, it's in our house actually, robots, vacuum robots, and so on, becoming smarter and smarter. What I'm seeing and what I would like to, for AI to become is definitely to become way more democratic than what it is today. So if you look from, a broad adoption, I really would like the AI to be broadly adopted by any people out there, any age, done smartly. That's why the topic of ethics is extremely important, not limited to Lenovo, but to everyone actually that uses AI today, whether it's for fun or whether it's for work. Everything we do should be ethical in everything we do. And I believe AI has some risks into it. So it's of course important that government are working towards it. But I believe every one of us has to play an active role into that part. So ethics remains an important part of AI, and it's going to be even more important in the next few years. Then technology-wise, chatbots, I believe that's definitely one of the things. But if you look at all the different AI applications you can do today or you can leverage today, from marketing, productivity, it's becoming really so vast. And the technology is evolving so rapidly that today you're using one tool, but then you discover after a few days that there is another one. And that acceleration is simply stunning. And the name of the game would be, how can I keep up? That's really the name of the game here.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think I, with my job, and you with your job, of course, are much more exposed to it than the average kind of person out there. I know some people who have no idea what AI is or what it does, but I think soon in the near future, most people are going to find it integrated into their lives in some form. I'll probably come back to you to pick your brains on AI ethics a bit further, Marco, because it's something I'm going to be writing about quite extensively in the near future.
I would love that.
Yeah, that would be great. It's obviously something you're kind of passionate and opinionated on. So let's do that. But in terms of today, that's all I wanted to ask you. I just wanted to thank you again for taking the time to join us. It's been really interesting. And for all our viewers and listeners out there, please do follow the discussion on our social media channels, LinkedIn and Reddit. And I'll say goodbye, Marco, and let's keep in touch soon.
Thank you very much. Ciao.
Take care. Bye.